Argentina Chile Dakar for 2010 enters its final stage, and what a tremendous finale we've got in store. On two wheels, Cyril Dupre, he wraps up his third Dakar victory. Whilst on four wheels, it's a showdown between Nasser Al-Attiyah and Carlos Sainz. But who is the winner? The penultimate stage of the Dakar. The last dunes right at the beginning of the stage. It was only about 20 kilometres of the dunes before the roads got straighter and narrower, but the navigation in the first part 24 hours ago was more than difficult. With hidden waypoints on the top of these dunes, sometimes in the most hard to reach places, things were certainly not over so far as the rally was concerned. It was anything but a run-in to the flag. This Volkswagen truck servicing Sainz, Al-Attiyah and Miller, blocking out the podium positions in the car class together with Janil de Villiers inside the top 10. He says, well, we're a long way behind our cars, and we were a bit closer to them yesterday, but we're a long way back of them today. On board with Tim Coronel. He got into the bivouac late last night. All sorts of problems with his McRae buggy, but he's still in the rally together with Chris Lades, who had to change a couple of drive belts on the machine 24 hours ago. Good result for BJ Baldwin as the late stand-in driver for the Hummer. He was inside the top 10. The organisers putting a waypoint right on the top of a dune, right in the middle of a relatively easy part of the stage. But even Ruben Ferrer was getting caught out on this hill climb, and this just gives you some idea of how difficult it was. The camera really does flatten things out somewhat, and it doesn't purvey the severity and steepness of the hill. These guys having a go and so nearly getting up, and only a few eventually getting up. This hill climb, just like part of the Erzberg Enduro that takes place every May in Austria, so difficult to get to the top. Drama for the Brit Craig Bounds, just 2 stages from home, and a mechanical putting him in all sorts of trouble. Craig looking for help, but for the Rally Raid UK squad, maybe their rally was going to fall apart as others just couldn't believe how they were going to get up there. Back with Bounds.
Zijn we mijn kletsen gaan? Oh, de gearbox is kapot.
In the end, it was kaput, and for Craig Bounds, just a stage and a half away from the end of the rally, that was cruel. On board with Van Loon and Verhoef, the Dutchman with their ex-works Mitsubishi. Even they had trouble getting the machinery to the top of the hill. They got stuck in the sand. Utter bedlam out there on stage 13. Very unlucky for some. Back with Van Loon and Verhoef. Was anybody going to get over the top of the hill? No. When you get to the end of the Dakar, you only remember the good things. When you don't finish, then you only remember the bad things. Stage 14 for the Argentina-Chile Dakar here in 2010. It's the final run, a road section between Santa Rosa de la Pampa and Buenos Aires, with the last 206 kilometers before the finish line in Buenos Aires. In the heartland of Argentina's agricultural fields and ambience, here in the Pampas. The start line atmosphere, thumbs up all of the way. Everybody who made it to the start line was going to make it to the finish. The traditional group photograph of all of the front runners took place at the start line this morning, including the boss of the Dakar, Etienne Levine. Smiles all round for everybody, least of all the podium trio, who had a little extra company. Everybody in party mood, including the marshals at the start, who waved off a very serene Cyril Dupre as he left the line. But it was down to Cyril Dupre's teammate, Ruben Ferrer, aboard the Red Bull KTM, who caught Olivier Pan on the stage. Ferrer, who has been nothing but a faithful teammate to Dupre throughout this year's rally, caught Olivier Pan, the big air-restricted 690, easily catching the Yamaha 450. Pan saying, well, I could try and pedal it as I may, it just would not go any faster. Next year, it's going to be 450s throughout the entire motorcycles here on the Dakar Rally. And Ferrer therefore winning the last stage for this ever faithful single-cylinder 690cc KTM that has been so dominant for the last 10 years. Overshoots on one of the corners he may, but everything was perfectly okay for Ruben Ferrer. He was victorious on the stage by nearly 4 minutes this afternoon, proving that he has the pace potentially to be yet another stage victor in years to come. For Cyril Dupre though, he was victorious as he came across the line, completing the final 206 kilometres. Victorious on the Dakar in Africa in 2005 and 2007, and now he wins a Dakar rally on the other side of the Atlantic here in South America. The big three for Cyril Dupre. He now joins the real greats of the Dakar rally. Palander's Oliver Alceta has had a tremendous final few days on this year's Dakar. Victorious on the stage 24 hours earlier, his first Dakar stage victory after 8 years of trying. And he wraps up second position in the overall standings after what has been such a close battle with Francisco Lopez of Chile. Team Scandinavia on the podium in second place. But what a result for Francisco Lopez. The V-twin Aprilia, brand new into this year's events, and the Italian Noali bike is going to be tasting the champagne on the podium in Buenos Aires. Lopez took it pretty cool on the stage this afternoon. 6 minutes back, but it doesn't matter. That's what it feels like for the Italian crew to get on that podium. Helder Rodriguez, victorious on his 450 Yamaha in Dakar's past, and not quite able to get on the podium here this year. Fourth position for Rodriguez, just 10 minutes off the pace. Now this was the battle. Alain Duclos battling with David Frétinier, just 3 minutes between them as they left the start line this morning. Frétinier having the advantage, so it was down to Duclos to try and get the throttle wide open, but in the end it was Frétinier who just pipped his fellow Frenchman, the Yamaha 450, beating the KTM 690 of Duclos in the end by just 2.5 minutes. Jonas Streets from America clinches 7th position, crossing the finish line and inside the top 10 for the Rally Pan Am rider. In the quad class, Marcus and Alejandro Patronelli making sure it was an Argentina 1 and 2 in the quad class. For Patronelli, it's a 100% winning and finishing record for the Argentine. Emotional stuff. The final stage, and a victorious one for Ruben Ferrer ahead of Palander's Olavalseta. Rodriguez, Duclos fighting Fretinier, but not quite pulling out enough of an advantage. But it's Dupre who is victorious on his third Dakar, ahead of Olavalseta, Lopez, Rodriguez and Fretinier. Today, Cyril made me more relaxed. I was 1 minute ahead of the 11th place overall, and I explained him that it was my intention to keep rubber side down for that last stage. Cyril said, if you're relaxed, I trust you, so do your own stage. I did it without thinking of anything else. I was thinking of his victory as well, but I won this stage, I got first position. It doesn't change so much for me the rest of the rally, but it's always great to win.
Merci mec. 3 victoires. Ah, thank you so much.
Je pense que toutes les victoires sont
I think all the victories are great, but this one more than others. It's the win of working and the win of experience, the win of a team, the Red Bull team. There's 9 of us and none of us ever gave up. Everybody wanted to fight and win. We did it. It's just brilliant. For 3 years I left Lac Rose in Senegal with a victory back in 07. 3 years later, 3 years of hell, 3 years of pain, 3 years of training, and now I've got my third win. It's brilliant. Even if I ride quickly for 15 days and left my energies all in it, but it's the energies that are now turning into tears.
I remember this stage from last year, and my mind was on the back wheel, the moose, the tire. So it was a little bit easy out of the corner, and I didn't go more than 150 in the beginning, but after 100 kilometers I gave full gas at 170. I didn't care. I want to finish and took the chance, and wow, it's great.
I'm very happy for this podium. It's the third time that I do the Dakar, and the first time that I finish on the podium. The Aprilia is a fantastic bike. The 450's done so well. An Italian bike, which is really quite young. We've won 3 stages with it. I'm very happy.